The gap in the public sector workforce is yet to be bridged, with more men employed and occupying senior positions than women. A report by the National Gender and Equality Commission indicates that while women are slowly catching up, the youth, people with disabilities and marginalized communities continue to be underrepresented in the public sector.
The country's youthful population has little to celebrate, as shown by the latest batch of data on the workplace representation. The National Gender and Equality Commission's survey of the public sector workforce shows that the youth are not adequately represented across the public sector. Out of 589,000 people employed in 341 institutions, only 186,339 are under the age of 35, while the bulk of that total number are those over 35 years of age. People living with disabilities have also been marginalized in the public sector. Their numbers fall short of the prescribed 5%. For every one female PWD employed, there are 2 PWD men employed. This inequality, the government says, must be addressed.
Because in this country, if you look at the income disparities, you'll be shocked. So, irrespective of the average income, irrespective of the education, irrespective of health, as long as we are not providing equal opportunities, then we are not developed as a nation.
I am reminded of one thing that comes with equality. And when it comes with gender equality or equality in general, it does help us. And since we are members of the world, we need to remember that when it comes to gender equality, it's not just a human right.
While most of the institutions surveyed have met the 2/3 gender rule in the employment of their workforce, there are still disparities when it comes to those who hold high-level jobs. While 6% of the workforce are in management positions, only 37% of these are females.
Women overall participation in the labor market remains much lower than that of men. Among people aged 25 to 54, gender gap in labor force participation stood at 29.2% in 2022, with female participation at 61.4% and male participation at 96.6%. These large differences cannot be explained.
The government has taken concrete steps to address the issue of gender representation in leadership positions. We have formed a multi-sectoral working group which is tasked with coordinating the development of a legislative framework for the implementation of the constitutional provision on the not more than 2/3 gender.
These findings mirror the ones contained in a recently released report by the Public Service Commission that also indicated that the country's youth, women and people living with disability were getting the short end of the stick when it came to matters employment. The government has now been challenged to ensure institutions allocate a minimum of 1.5% of their total annual budget for the mainstreaming of gender and inclusion at the workplace. The challenge also extends to the TVET training, with the NGEC now advocating for an increase in the number of girls, women and people living with disabilities in TVETs to secure